Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our home in East Providence, Rhode Island, on this Feel Good Friday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. That little bastard did not see his shadow. 6 more weeks, spring comes early, bitches. And this Feel Good Friday starts right now. What up, people? It's good old MF Michael Fletcher. And alongside my buddy Anthony Floyo, we are awaiting Michael Bullock. And welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, a special Friday night edition, not Saturday, but a Friday night edition. And here we go. This is it. Smackdown Live tonight, Birmingham, Alabama. And my goodness, after this night ends, we got ourselves some major shakeups as it relates to Philadelphia and, more importantly, WrestleMania 40. Two major main events have now been confirmed and is now etched. It's the ink is dried and it's going to happen, folks. Two matches have now officially been announced, and we got a lot to talk about. So, with that said, we welcome in everybody, and hold on one second. There we go. All right, the gang's truly all here now. So, we're going to start it off, obviously, promo segment by Logan Paul, interrupted by Kevin Owens. And then we had the first fight of the night, Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. And Kevin Owens wins the match in 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Solid opener. You know, obviously the promo segment, not bad. I'm not going to be too wild about it. But the match itself, this was a good back and forth fight. I really enjoyed this match. As a matter of fact, I'll even go as far to say this was a sleeper fight of the evening in my eyes. This was at least 3 stars. I enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job with it. So nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo front and center. And give me your thoughts. I say 3 stars. Kevin Owens winning the match in 12 minutes and 16 seconds.
Perfect. All right. 12-16. Yes. All right. I just want to make sure I have everything here. Okay. Okay. It may not be a surprise by any means that Austin Theory and Kevin Owens had a good match, because both are quality in-ring competitors with long histories of delivering between the ropes. Theory controlled enough to retain his status as an upper mid-card heel who can mix it up with any opponent, while Owens fended off interference from Paul and Grayson Waller to pick up a hard-fought win in which he outsmarted his heel opposition. He chased Logan to the back and stood tall among the people to close out a more than solid start to the show. 3.25 stars. Corey Graves officially announced the new Smackdown commentary team comprising of himself and Wade Barrett. The first time a former pro wrestler has filled the play-by-play role since Gorilla Monsoon. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Logan Paul insulted Kevin Owens, telling him he smelled bad. Owens responded, "I bathed in Prime before I got here," to which the champion said, "It must not have been cherry freeze." So, okay. And then Corey Graves pointed out how Kevin Owens obscured the brass knuckles from referee Jessica Carr, a great observation that played on the Rumble finish that doomed his U.S. title aspirations. Solid 3.25 stars of a match. So, not much more to say on that. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary SmackDown chats. As always, it is all yours.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid promo. I mean, I'm not going to really get that much into it, but yeah. But as far as the match goes, I'll give it about maybe, I'll give it 3.25 as well. I mean, a solid opener here. And yeah, so now the question is, what's next for Logan Paul when it comes to his United States Championship opponent? So we'll find out eventually. So, but all in all, a good way to start it off with this match. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right. And with that said, we do indeed move on. And the next thing that we did have, well, normally we don't talk about announcements, backstage stuff, but this needs to be announced because Anthony Floyo brought it up and it needs to be addressed. So Naomi walks out of Nick Aldis's locker room or Nick Aldis's office and hand a SmackDown contract. Naomi back on SmackDown, and then got congratulated by Bianca Belair, Shotzi, and Mia Yim. They are all happy for her. And then a surprise. The center of the universe, originally from NXT, Tiffany Stratton rolls out, and she has a SmackDown contract. Now, in my eyes, I'm like, wait, did I just hit the daily double? Naomi's one thing, and she's amazing. She's awesome. The body of work of hers is great. But if we got the center of the universe, if we ended up nailing Tiffany Stratton and getting her as well, now we got a bright, young, untapped talent. We already know how great she is in NXT, and now she gets to do that in the main roster. Oh my God, Anthony Florio, I know the look in your eye. You probably felt like, all right, Naomi, that's probably predictable. We knew that was going to happen. Your jaw must have dropped when you saw Tiffany Stratton walk out with that SmackDown contract. You were probably like, no!
Well, SmackDown needed some shots in the arm because of Charlotte Flair being injured. So this actually makes all the sense in the world. And, I mean, big moment for the Blue brand here. I mean, I'm not surprised about Naomi because, Naomi had way more success on SmackDown than she did on Raw. Let's be realistic. On Raw, she got lost in the shuffle. On SmackDown, she became a multi-time SmackDown Women's Champion and had a lot more moments, including winning the title at WrestleMania 33 in her hometown of Orlando. So, and that came as a member of the SmackDown brands. So, and it makes all the sense in the world because who else is there? Her husband, Jimmy Uso. So, it makes all the sense in the world. Tiffany Stratton, on the other hand, she's romantically linked to Ludwig Kaiser. Let's not forget that. Ludwig Kaiser is a Raw guy. But they decided to put Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, which I consider a little surprising. But like I said, the SmackDown women's division needed a shot in the arm because Charlotte Flair is injured. So you not only got one shot in the arm, you got two. You got the return of Naomi, and you got one of the best young talents in the game today, former NXT Women's Champion, and one of the best female talents we've seen on NXT in a long time. So it's a double win for Friday Night SmackDown, and I'm very intrigued to see where these two fit on the road to WrestleMania. So great signings both ways, and unfortunately we have lost MF for a moment here, but I'll tell you what, I mean, like I said, Naomi going to SmackDown is no big surprise. I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. But Tiffany Stratton, I had heard some dirt sheets about her going to Raw, but alas, here she is on SmackDown. So a little surprising because WWE usually likes to keep the couples together. They're doing it in this case with Naomi and Jimmy Uso.
Well, they actually did it the same way because remember, Charlotte is SmackDown Blue, but they just had Andrade sign with Monday Night Raw. So yeah, there's a little bit of a little bit of the split, as we would say, between the couples here.
And me and MF, I talked about Bullock and I actually did talk about this during our SmackDown chat earlier. I think there's a good reason for Andrade being on Raw. Remember, Charlotte's going to be out a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, at least 9 to 12 months, at least.
So I think putting Andrade on Raw was the best move. Remember, there's a draft coming. You know there's going to be a draft coming.
Oh, yeah.
So they can always move him to SmackDown in the draft. They can always do that.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, him being on Raw, I think it's because of Charlotte being injured. But Tiffany Stratton going to SmackDown while her man Ludwig Kaiser is on Raw. I mean, that's it is a little confusing, but at the same time, MF, I mean, you got to be loving this. I mean, it's one thing to get Naomi back, but to have one of the best young female talents today in Tiffany Stratton, that's a double win.
Yeah,
double win for you.
That's why I kind of, when I saw Naomi, I had that, the applause, the applause thing. I was like, all right, welcome back, welcome home, Naomi. Definitely great to have you back. I was excited. I was, me, I was like applauding, like, welcome home, Naomi. You deserve, so glad to have you back on Team Blue. Everything else. When I saw Tiffany Stratton walk out that door, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, what?
Domo que?
What are you doing here? And then once I saw her with that SmackDown contract in her hand, I'm like, oh my God, did we just ink her as well? I was like, oh, Nick, I love you, man. Thank you. That's all I would do is just do at that point, man. I would gladly shake his hand and say thank you. That is huge for us.
And I'm sure you also let out a Pat McAfee let's go on top of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the thing is, like you and I said, Florio, when we had our chat, I think you said because of the Charlotte injury, they had to do this. They had to put her on SmackDown because
and Andrade on Raw too.
Yeah, because I think the Charlotte injury changed everything when it came to that. Because if Charlotte didn't get injured, I think Andrade would have been on SmackDown, and then Tiffany Stratton would be on Raw. But because of the injury and how long she's going to be out, they had to do the switch. They had to make Tiffany Stratton a part of SmackDown to boost the women's division, and then Andrade a part of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But because the thing that kind of does,
but as Anthony Florio mentioned, we got a draft coming. We know it's going to come, so they can always switch it up. So we'll just have to wait and see with all this. So, but for right now, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for Fletch, especially on the women's side.
Absolutely. So,
all right,
that's just my 2 cents. I think Bullet just gave his 2 cents, unless he wants to add more. So, I've said my piece.
No, I pretty much said my part on that as well. So, I think we could just move right along, Fletch. Unless you want to give your 2 cents.
No, I think I pretty much covered almost everything that needed to be covered because of the fact of how this played out and everything that went down. So this is amazing. All right. Well, like I said, the only thing that kind of was like a dagger in the heart, if you think about it, would be that, she said everything she needed to say, which was fine. It was cool. I think the dagger that was in the heart more than anything else was when Andrade's like, hey, do me a favor. Tell Zelina Vega I said hello. I was like, oh, what? That was the dagger in the heart to me because I know Zelina deep down was like, I wanted it to bring you in to get you to the LWO. And now you're going a different route. But again, like you said, and you guys are absolutely right. It was definitely maybe because of the Charlotte Flair injury, her being out for that long. and plus they need to boost the men's roster because remember what's going on right now. You just lost CM Punk. Seth Rollins is practically inactive right now. He might not be back until literally WrestleMania. So they're protecting their Punk is now out. Rollins is now being protected from now until Mania because he's not wrestling. You had no choice. You had to bring Andrade to Monday Night Raw. You guys were actually hurting on the men's side. So that also may be the reason why Andrade signed with Monday Night Raw. And we'll get into another part in just a little bit. So, next thing that we had was a tag team fight. It was member of the Legado del Fantasma, Humberto and Angel. They went up against LWO members Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. Pretty Deadly was involved. So was the big strong boy Tyler Bate and the bruiserweight Pete Dunne. The winner of this one will become the number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Winners of the bout, 9 minutes and 26 seconds. It was the bruiserweight Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They now get a shot at the tag team titles currently held by Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor representing Judgment Day. Anthony Florio, this is yours.
And if I have to make some corrections here, here's what's going to happen here.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I apologize. I jumped the gun. No, I got a little excited. I jumped the gun. Let me rework this. So it's qualifying matches on both ends. So you got one for Raw, one for SmackDown. This is the SmackDown side. SmackDown has their match tonight. Raw has theirs on Monday. The winners of these matches will face off, and the winners of that match gets to face Judgment Day for the tag team titles. So my bad, my mistake. Anthony, now it's yours.
Yes, the bruiserweight Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate moved one step closer to a shot at the Judgment Day in the Undisputed Tag Team Championship in Perth, Australia at the Elimination Chamber by way of their victory over LWO, Legado del Fantasma, and Pretty Deadly tonight. The match featured nonstop action from all four teams, each getting an opportunity to shine en route to the British strong-style tandem earning the win. The match not only highlighted what is low-key and uber-talented tag team division on Friday nights, but also allowed the individual feuds to shine. LWO and Legado del Fantasma have unfinished business, and the team of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne reconnected during their ongoing feud with Pretty Deadly. Was it a show-stealing match? Something possible given the talent involved? No. But it was an entertaining sprint full of unflinching athleticism, and the right team went over. Joaquin Wilde recreated his jaw-dropping dive from the ropes onto the heels at ringside, entering the commercial break. The action here was relentless, all movement all the time. Selena Vega pulled Elektra Lopez off the ring apron, held the ropes open for LWO to wipe out Legado del Fantasma, and added a Meteora to Elektra Lopez. So 3 to 3 1/4 for this match here. So Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne advance, and they will await the winner of another fatal four-way match that will take place this Monday night on Raw. Teams to be announced, but we will have a fatal four-way match on the Raw side, and then the winner of that match will battle Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne down the line, and whoever wins that match will then earn the right to challenge Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships at the Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. So 3 to 3 1/4 stars for this. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne one step closer to an undisputed tag team title showdown with Balor and Priest at the Elimination Chamber, and that Pete Dunne joint manipulation played a part in it. Eesh.
Yeah, it did play a part in it. And, I'm not surprised about this because there was no way they were going to have Legado del Fantasma and Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild go over because of their ongoing feud. So it had to come down to Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne against Pretty Deadly, and this to me was the right choice. So yeah, 3.25 for this one. So now we gotta wait and see who will be representing Raw. When it comes to their Fatal 4-Way, I'm pretty sure we'll know come Monday night. So
Oh, yeah.
nothing to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. With that said, we do indeed move on to a promo segment by Bailey, and she had members of Damage Control. She had she had Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Conspicuous by her absence was there was no Dakota Kai, and Rhea Ripley was there, but she was in the backstage in the locker room area watching on a monitor, and Bailey basically made her decision, and it was, in one way, she talked about everything that was going on, and then she noticed the change. It started, a backstage moment, and Asuka, Kyrie, and Io were talking, and Io said it. Tonight, Bailey is done. And Bailey walked out, and you saw the look in her eye of the heartbreak, the devastation. And then she talked about, everything, and she turned to the three girls, said something in Japanese, like, I know what you guys been saying. And beatdown started. Bailey had an equalizer, cleared it out, and said the magic words that was music to my ears as a SmackDown guy and to the ears of Florio and Bullock, because what a match we're going to get. Io, I will see you at WrestleMania. Bailey has made her choice. It will be Bailey versus Io Sky one-on-one for the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania 40. Now official, now confirmed. Michael Bullock, we had to get there. We didn't know how we were going to get there. Tonight, the puzzle pieces came all together. The puzzle's complete. Now we are ready for a showdown at WrestleMania.
And the thing is, Fletch, I mean, the moment when Bailey said that she was going to make the announcement Friday night on SmackDown, I just had this feeling that tonight they were going to pull the trigger. That this was the night that they were going to kick Bailey out of Damage Control, and it did happen. I mean, especially that backstage moment when Io Sky said, "Tonight Bailey is done," and I talked about this with Anthony Florio, but I want to ask you, Fletch, with that backstage moment, what did that remind you of?
Kind of more or less of Evolution with Dave Bautista. And yeah, when he was making the decision between Triple H and, at the time, if I remember, John Cena.
JBL.
Oh,
JB. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And yeah, when Triple H and Ric Flair were orchestrating a way of trying to get Batista to agree to face JBL. And that's when Batista heard everything, and that's when he felt he was stabbed in the back. And the same way it developed here tonight. And Bailey basically talked about everything, and then she turned to the three of them, and she saw them snickering, and she's like, "Are the three of you done laughing now? Because I have something I want to tell you. I do speak a little Japanese, and I know you've been talking smack about me behind my back." And that's when she finally had enough. But the Kabuki Warriors, they jumped her, and Io was literally directing what to do. But Bailey, she was one step ahead because she had a pipe in her hand and basically attacked the Kabuki Warriors. And then, like you said, she said those magic words to Io Sky, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." So we have our first official match set for WrestleMania 40. It will be Io Sky versus Bailey for the women's championship. And here's another thing that Florio and I talked about, Fletch, and I want to see what you think of it. I think this is where maybe as the build to WrestleMania goes, you keep that edgy Bailey that we're seeing right now until you get to WrestleMania. And maybe this is where, and this is just what I'm thinking. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That they bring back the huggable one that we haven't seen since, I think it was 2019, I think it was. But like I said, we're just going to wait and see. Right now, we're in the early stages of this. We'll see how the road for these two women go. But, yeah. But here's another thing that I'm thinking, too. Where does Dakota Kai stand with all this? Does she side with Bailey, or does she side with the Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors? That's the thing we're interested to find out. But and that's why she was MIA. So now we're gonna have to get an answer from her. And another thing I think too, and Fletch, I don't know how you feel about it. I think Io Sky to me is the true leader of Damage Control, because she was the one who was directing the Kabuki Warriors to take out Bailey. So that's what I think. So Fletch, as I give it to you, what do you think of all this?
Yeah, this is, well, if you want my honest opinion about the about everything that just happened, I think Dakota said it on her Instagram, on her Twitter. Yo, what the F is going on, with a heartbreak emoji. So that's her statement. She put it on Twitter. It's on X, her official page. Yo, WTF is going on, is what she said with a heartbreak emoji. So that's the big news that's coming on.
Matthew, okay.
Yeah, so Anthony, I'm going to give it to you. Just go ahead, take it.
Oh, okay. Yes. Anyways, well, one of the segments of the night for sure. Backstage before the commercial break, Bailey overheard her Damage Control teammates mocking her and claiming Bailey is done tonight, setting the stage for a big angle. In the ring, Bailey was joined by women's champion Io Sky and tag team champions Asuka and Kairi Sane. She propped up Damage Control, calling them family, and saying she would not have accomplished what she did without them. She teased choosing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40 before turning to her teammates and asking them why they never saw anything in her and if they were done laughing at her now. She fended off a beatdown by Damage Control with the assistance of a lead pipe and laid down the challenge to Sky for the showcase of the Immortals. This well-executed segment started with a callback to the demise of Evolution, where Batista overheard Triple H and Ric Flair talking trash, then severed ties with the group later in the night. That was the February 21st, 2005 edition of Monday Night Raw, for those of you scoring at home. Bailey had the people on her side, and she will be the overwhelming fan favorite when she takes to the squared circle in Philadelphia for what will arguably be the biggest match of her Hall of Fame-worthy career. Bailey said sometimes the people you thought were your friends sometimes you have to prove them wrong. The moment Bayley turned around and spoke in Japanese to her teammates to a great reaction from the fans, it was her thumbs down moment to her closest doubters. And about that announcement, Io Sky, I'll see you at WrestleMania. There is absolutely nothing left to say about that. So we have our first official match for WrestleMania 40. Io Sky will defend the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley, and I told MF, I don't know if you're back in here, but I'm hoping you can hear me when I say this, because I'm going to tell you something that I told Michael Bullock during our Raw chat today. I mean, Michael Bullock and I had a very productive SmackDown chat tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. And we had a lot to say during it. And here's another thing that I brought up to Bullock during this. I believe over the next couple of months, they are going to take their time, and they're going to keep Bayley as the edgy character that they've had all these few years. But why do I have a feeling come WrestleMania, they might bring her back as the huggable one. We might get the huggable Bayley back. We might get the Bayley that used to come out with the wacky waving, arm flailing, inflatable tube men. You do that at Mania. Oh yeah, she's gonna get a hero's welcome in Philadelphia. There's no question about it. There is no doubt about that. The pop that she will get if she comes out as the huggable one, and with those wacky waving, arm flailing, inflatable tube men, you do that at Mania. Wow, ooh baby. It would be almost like when Hulk Hogan came back to WCW, when Hulk Hogan came back as the yellow and red in August of 1999, on my birthday, August 9th of 99, for that. So that's really all I can say there. So yes, indeed, a great segment to say the least. And all right, so MF, hopefully you're back in and ready to go here. So we lost him again. Okay. Okay, I'm hoping MF's not having technical difficulties or anything. So MF.
All right. Yep. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
A lot of things was happening here that was kind of really out of my control. I couldn't really handle. I just couldn't. I had to handle a few things on my end, but that's okay. Whatever.
Okay. But did you hear my little theory there, MF?
Yes.
About WWE keeping Bayley as the edgy Bayley for the road to WrestleMania, and then possibly bringing her back as the huggable one. I can see that. I can see that happening. I don't know about
It's possible. It's possible, but I know Bayley doesn't. I know she's also said that she's been herself the whole way through. So who knows? She could do that. She could go a different route. Who knows? All right. So next up we had was a 6-man tag team fight. It was Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor, the Authors of Pain, against the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, and Bobby Lashley. Well, the fight never got off the ground. The fight got literally it was a brawl. It was a pure 6 brawl. The fight never started, never got off the ground. So this fight was an automatic NA. We can't even call it. Then we had then basically what happened was it looked like Karrion Kross was going to get put into the Hurt Lock, and Scarlett jumped in only for B-Fab to come out and take Scarlett out. So it looks like B-Fab is now the newest member of the, you could say she's now part of the Bobby Lashley's crew. That was the last person I would have expected on the squad. But hey, all right, I'm good with it. Then we had a backstage moment. Nick Aldis still running it, still trying to make deals, talking to Braun Breaker. Adam Pearce showed up, say, you know what, Braun, no, don't sign just yet. Let me have a moment. Let's talk on Monday night. Aldis is like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, hey, this is business, bro. You know how this goes. Florio's probably like, yes, bring Braun to Raw, bring Braun to Raw. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you letting him go out the door? Enter Jade Cargill. Oh, wait a minute now. Cargill on SmackDown? I'm like, yo. And I'm like, yeah, Gears, get out. No, I don't want you here. Get out. Leave. We got business to talk. So there we go. So now you can see there's that legal wrangling going on. There's some. I like this. I actually don't mind it. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis going at it, talking business. They're doing business. This is part of that Raw versus SmackDown. This is what I think the fans are actually going to like, a storyline where both GMs are trying to get the better talent, trying to one up each other. I like this. This has the makings of some very good, interesting storylines as it pertains to Aldis and Adam Pearce.
And this has got the feeling, Fletch, of Raw versus SmackDown all over again. I mean,
Yeah,
what it feels like. And regarding those things with the Braun Breaker and Jade Cargill, I hate to say this to you, Fletch, but I think Braun Breaker is bound for Monday Night Raw, because here's the reason why. Because remember the Royal Rumble. Who was the one that eliminated him?
Judgment Day.
Which member?
Basically,
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio. And remember that interview on YouTube? What did Braun Breaker say?
That he was not done with them.
So if Braun Breaker is gonna, if he's gonna finish the Judgment Day, he has to be on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. And here's another thing too. He was the one that replaced Brock Lesnar with all the allegations,
the allegations and with everything going on.
And I think, and remember, originally was supposed to be Brock Lesnar against Dominic Mysterio. I wonder if this is where Braun Breaker is going to be the one to face Dominic Mysterio. So I think for that to happen, he's got to go to Monday Night Raw. And then for Jade Cargill, I think if you're thinking about doing that matchup that everybody wants to see, her against Bianca Belair. Now this
Smackdown.
one I think you're gonna exactly
SmackDown bound.
Because if you want to do her against Bianca Belair, maybe at WrestleMania, she has to be on SmackDown. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And the funny thing was, initially when she originally debuted, they had her heading to Monday Night Raw. If you remember, when rumors came out that she was on her way to WWE, the rumors were saying that she was heading to Monday Night Raw. But after what happened at the Royal Rumble, that got us thinking, hey, we might get, why not Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania? Yeah, I could see it. Jade Cargill signs with SmackDown Live. That would be and another shot in the arm to the women's division. Again, another reason why, because of the injury to Charlotte Flair, you need another big name. This is the hottest free agent right now in the company. This is the biggest name that SmackDown could get right now. It makes all the sense in the world. And on top of that, to possibly have a dream fight between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill one-on-one? Oh my God.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. Here's something that I found out. WWE had plans for Brock Lesnar. First was for Brock Lesnar to enter the Royal Rumble. Another plan was for Dominic to eliminate him. Brock Lesnar was supposed to face Dominic Mysterio at Elimination Chamber in Australia, and then Brock, and then the plan, the ultimate end game was for Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
Yes, we heard that. Yes.
And what a be a man fight that would have been if that had happened. But now that Brock Lesnar has been basically cast away because of his involvement in the ongoing investigation, we'll just leave it at that. And by the way, going forward, we are never going to mention that other individual's name. We're gonna give him the Benoit treatment, if you will. So
I think everybody's giving him the. I think everybody's giving him.
Told Anthony. Yeah. I basically told Anthony Florida during our chat, and I made this ruling from here on in, starting now, we are never to mention that individual's name on either of our shows ever again. We're giving him the Chris Benoit treatment. So you heard it here, folks.
Well, I was going to say, I honestly believe that, and I understand why, because of the fact with everything going on. And yeah, I think everybody is kind of skating away from that individual. And I even would say, I'm going to be real honest. I'm not very comfortable even mentioning Brock Lesnar right about now. You know, with everything that's come to light. Now, if more comes out, we might have to do a double back and not mention his name ever again on the show. And there's a very good possibility that might happen. WWE is already shedding their archive of Lesnar by selling his merchandise, by basically putting it on sale at the lowest possible price.
Discount price.
Yeah, like major discount price. Like we're talking 50 to 75% off. They want the merch. Go. They don't want nothing left in the warehouse of Brock Lesnar.
I don't blame them.
So
the point,
they even erased like the man's name on the everything WWE.com like with the profile and everything.
And I would not be surprised, and I honestly will not be surprised that Lesnar's next. If it's true, if everything that is being right now being reported is accurate, 1000%, obviously everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Everybody has a chance. Absolutely. So let's not jump. Right. However, the allegations against that individual is bad enough that we have to make that ruling. It is bad enough. And I think even I honestly know that I believe Derek Ferrera's following suit on that, doing his own thing, going away from that man as well. And I think he is following suit like we are on that decree. So I think there's nothing surprising on that. As far as Lesnar goes, I'm reserving the right to do the same thing. And right now, as long as there isn't any more, we might be fine. But I think there's more coming down the pipeline, and I'm really worried that we might have to be forced to do the same treatment like we did with that other guy. So we'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. But the point I was trying to make was I'll just call him the alpha male of our species. So, the alpha male of our species was supposed to enter the Royal Rumble. Dominic, Dum Dum, was supposed to eliminate him. Sets up the alpha male of our species versus Dum Dum at the Chamber. And then the ultimate endgame, the original endgame, was for us to get that dream match that we have been wanting for a while, with it being the alpha male of our species versus the Ring General.
Yeah.
Now, considering that they've had Braun Breaker do all this stuff, Braun Breaker takes the alpha male of our species' place. Dominic Mysterio eliminates Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker says that I'm not finished with the Judgment Day. He said to Adam Pearce, "I'll see you Monday night." Breaker's going to Raw, MF. I'm sorry. Breaker's going to Raw. And I will gladly welcome that young stud with open arms, no doubt about it. And he can get Dominic. I think he will face Dominic in Australia at the Chamber, beat his ass, and then I believe, and here comes the big one here, I think Braun Breaker is going to face Gunther at WrestleMania, and I think Braun Breaker is going to end the reign of terror of Gunther and walk out of the Link, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Period.
Yeah.
End of statement. End of quotation. Go off of that what you will.
I think that's a pretty accurate assessment. No doubt. All right. Next up, Michin goes one-on-one with the center of the universe, Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton wins the match in 7 minutes and 28 seconds. All right. A solid performance by solid performance by Tiffany Stratton. Good match. And look, she looked really good. She looked really good in her opening match, her first battle. Thoroughly impressed. I was very happy with everything that, played out. I could say about 2.5 stars. 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
That's good. That's usually good enough for 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 of a star here. Tiffany Stratton passed every test put before her in NXT, and tonight she made her in-ring debut on SmackDown, defeating Michin in a competitive bout. Stratton had plenty of opportunity to shine, seizing control, entering the commercial break and maintaining it, coming out of the timeout. Michin fought back and looked like she may have a chance at victory, but Stratton downed her and delivered the prettiest moonsault ever for the win. Michin was the perfect first opponent for Stratton here, in that she is a veteran worker, or as I call it, a veteran utility worker, knows how to shine others up, and is selfless between the ropes. She sold well for the newcomer and let her get her stuff in, ultimately putting her over in a bout that started slow, but had fans more engaged by its conclusion. This was a great first introduction to Tiffany Stratton on the main roster. Her star is bright and will only further illuminate the WWE universe with more standout performances against respected opponents like Michin. The crowd was not totally into this one early, but Tiffany Stratton is a star, and Michin is among the most underrated competitors on the WWE roster, and they won the fans over by the end of the bout. Stratton delivered a cartwheel Alabama slam that was simply fantastic, and the newcomer overshot her moonsault, but it did not matter because her athleticism won the crowd over and had them counting along with the pin. 2.5, teetering on 2 3/4 of a star. So there isn't anything else left for me to say except Michael Bullock, Tiffany Stratton in 7:28 wins her debut over Michin. 2.5, teetering on 2 3/4. What says you? Bullock, are you there?
Did he step away?
He might have. He may have.
All right. That's fine. Well, let's move on then to the main event segment of the night. This was the decision by Cody Rhodes about who he was going to face. Well, started off with a promo by Roman Reigns, and then was eventually Cody Rhodes did come out to make his decision, and basically he told Roman that I'm coming after you. I want you, but it's not going to be at WrestleMania. What? Cody said that one of the men who he consulted with, because he talked about family, he talked to legends, talked to certain people, the whole 9 yards. And when it was all said and done, he said that somebody counseled him that he knows very well. Next up, The Rock's music hit. Jaw drop moment. We all freak out. Cody comes out, Rock comes out, embraces Cody, says something to him. Cody leaves the ring, and the final image that we get is Rock and Roman in the ring, face to face, eye to eye, and it's now official. The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 40. It is official. That means, as of now, it looks like it will be Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Mania. However, that is not official. We got to wait for Cody to make it official, but it does now open the door for that match to happen now. Anthony Florio, what a wild final 15 minutes we got. Cody will not get to finish his story. The story will be prolonged. However, Rock, Roman, Mania in Philly. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Okay. I've had some time to think about this. But let me give you my analysis first on the segment, and then I will dive in. And with that, the year-long journey back to WrestleMania and the undisputed WWE Universal Championship victory that eluded Cody Rhodes in LA, Inglewood, SoFi was all for naught. Worst of all, how it was all handled here lacked sense, felt unnatural, and did a major disservice to the American nightmare. Cody Rhodes stepping aside for The Rock felt all too much like the horrendous conclusion of WrestleMania 9, where my man, Bret the Hitman Hart, did the exact same thing for Hulk Hogan. It hurt Bret Hart and took him a solid year to claw his way back to the top of the company again, which he did at WrestleMania 10 when he beat Yokozuna. Cody Rhodes already put the work in, earned the fans' respect and admiration, and won the Royal Rumble for the second year in a row to set up the return match with Roman Reigns. Why? I cannot ask this enough. Why in the bluest of blue hells would he allow himself to, quote unquote, take up counsel from The Rock and simply walk away from his WrestleMania dream because the Great One advised him to? It will be imperative that Cody offer up answers Monday Night on Raw in an attempt to make sense of this asinine conclusion, because that, coupled with the fact that Roman Reigns responded to Seth Rollins' criticisms by cooking him and the World Heavyweight Championship on the mic, suddenly has a prospective showdown between the Visionary and Cody Rhodes less appealing. However, there is no denying the electricity between The Rock and Roman Reigns to end the show. But to book that ahead of a match featuring your number one top babyface that was a year in the making feels like a long-term creative misfire. Exactly no pop. Reigns waking up and choosing violence said of the lack of reaction to Rollins' name. He says, I work 10 times less than you and make 10 times more than you, as he continued to cook Rollins. Cody, I'm not going to beg you like the other guy. You can be the world's best number 2 or take another crack at the number 1. And Cody questioned, does finish the story mean taking that title or taking everything? I know I should be excited about this match, but I'm sorry. I am not. Good old MF Michael Fletcher pegged me as the modern day Jesse the Body Ventura. You know, the man who tells it like it is. MF, if you want me to tell it like it is, I'm going to do it right here and right now for you. You want to tell it like it is? Uncle Tony's going to tell you exactly how it is. I want to be excited for this match. I do. I know it's a dream match. I know it's going to, you know, do great business in the short term. I get it. And I appreciate that. I understand it. But this makes absolutely no freaking sense whatsoever. I know I should be excited about this match, but I'm sorry. I'm not.
I think what happened is I think the Punk injury messed everything up. And I think Triple H and the guys was really in a bind, and they actually got caught in a net. Because I think they honestly were going to do Punk versus Rollins.
Yeah.
Cody versus Roman.
Yeah.
Or Punk and Rollins, or Punk and Rollins, and then Cody, Rock, and maybe Roman triple threat. There's still an avenue. There's still an avenue for that, folks. So let's pump the brakes here before we freak out. Maybe there could be a way where
I hope so.
Roman could weasel his way and get Cody back in to a triple threat. Because I get it. The fans are freaking out. And a lot of them are not happy about this because right now, honestly, this got the feel of WrestleMania 30. Right now.
This is true.
This has the feel of WrestleMania 30. And we all know how that ended.
Bryan won the title.
Let's hold on. Let's pump the brakes.
Okay.
We might get a 30 again.
I hope
that's
so.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Because I get it.
And if that's the case, I would be more if it ends up being a triple threat, that is the only way I will be okay with it.
The only thing is this. If you're Cody Rhodes, I get it. You're not happy. You could see the heartbreak in his eyes when he made that decision. He knows he gave up the dream. He knows that the story was not supposed to end this way. But the thing is this. If you're going to be the workhorse, what is the one title that is indeed the workhorse? The World Heavyweight title. Honestly, you could have put it to any other guy, but you could have done it with Gunther?
Yes.
Okay, fine. But it looks like Gunther's going to have Braun Breaker now.
What about Drew McIntyre?
But the thing is, been there, done that. We've already seen that. Nobody wants it.
Well, he never had it in front of fans. He never had it in front of a full capacity crowd. He had to do it in a dinky performance center.
Understandable, but that's still the same thing. It doesn't matter. He had his shot.
True.
What about Sami Zayn? Everybody who's been pushing for Sami, and then there's that talk about maybe a triple threat. Rollins versus Sami versus Drew. I'm sorry. That's not WrestleMania worthy. Not in my eyes.
Nope.
I don't give a damn what anybody says.
I agree.
That's not WrestleMania worthy.
No.
Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes is. And Cody wins the title. He becomes the World Heavyweight Champion.
But Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank.
No, because if Damian Priest does, all right, then he gets the title. But the thing is, I would let Cody hold on to it for a little bit. Let him have the moment. Look, he deserves a moment after what happened to him a year ago at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And look, There's two avenues I could see. Cody goes after Seth. Cody wins the title. Cody's now the world's heavyweight champion. All right. He doesn't necessarily finish the story, but he adds another chapter to it. It's another chapter. Because ultimately, they gotta run this back. Or Roman says, you know what? I can smash both you guys. Or the fans will make a movement that Cody deserves a shot at the Universal title.
Yes.
And they start doing what Daniel Bryan did. You might have to occupy SmackDown. That's gonna force the hand of Nick Aldis to say, all right, let's do it. Triple threat for the belt at Mania. That's your main event.
Okay.
If you
MF. If you notice, I mean, I know what I'm about to say, you're gonna say, who cares? But here's the thing. I follow Cody Rhodes on social media, and at the start of every month, he posts his itinerary for every show he's gonna be at for the month. And according to that itinerary, I couldn't help but notice not only SmackDown tonight, but I also saw him penciled in for next Friday's SmackDown in Charlotte. What does that tell you?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of different things, and now we got to see how this plays out. Right now, I know the fans are freaking out. Some fans are happy.
They're not happy.
No, well, not everybody, but there are some fans who are excited to see Roman and Rock.
Yes.
But again, this is starting to have the feel of WrestleMania 30.
I hope so, man.
This does. It's got the feel of 30. And the thing is, for Cody to give up the moment like that, there's a couple things that's happening here. There's a couple things at play. WWE is really pushing Roman to break Hulk Hogan's record. That's one thing. Because they want that record to be broken. And if Roman successfully defends, there's nothing stopping Roman from breaking Hogan's record. Honestly. At some point, the belt is coming off Roman. It will. Cody will be the one to do it. It's not a matter of if he does it. It's just a matter of when. Right now, I think WWE got backed into a corner when CM Punk got hurt, and they absolutely had to go to a plan B. Even though there was something on the table about Rock versus Roman. And they were saying it's possible that this could happen. They absolutely had to do a move because it's WrestleMania season and everything is hinging on this. So as much as we may be angry about the decision, as much as many people were angry about it, look, I get it. But you heard the reaction from the fans at the end of the night. They're all in for Rock versus Roman. I get it. If you think about it, it's half-assed backwards. Why would you do that? Framing it like that is going to be either the best thing that has happened for Triple H's regime or the worst thing that has happened in Triple H's regime. He's taken a massive, massive gamble. And he's hoping and praying that it pays off. It's a massive gamble. You know it. A lot of people are saying the same thing. Why are they doing this? Why? No. Cody did everything right. He's done everything right for this moment to fight for this title. And for it to be ripped away for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to get this opportunity of a lifetime, again, It feels like 30, and I know a lot of people are going to feel that way. It's just, hold on. Let's take a minute. Remember, there's still 64 days from WrestleMania. Let's ease up, folks. Let's calm down.
The thing is, Fletch, what's the one thing that Triple H has been known for when it comes to his regime?
Long-term story booking.
Exactly. And that's why I was thinking the exact same thing. Look, I know a lot of people are not happy about it, but like you said, it's 64 days away. Triple H has been known for long-term booking. I got a feeling there's going to be more to this. So I know Florio ripped this whole thing, and I understand.
Which he rightfully so. Rightfully so. He deserves to rip it because absolutely I would have been the same way. I know you're the same way. There's a lot of people on social media. They're going nuts about it. They are not happy about it. I get it.
And like you said, the CM Punk injury changed everything.
Yes.
And they were backed into a corner. They had to go to a plan B. It might not be a popular one, but they had to do this. But like I said, it's still 64 days away, and Triple H's long-term booking. Let's just wait and see what happens, and then we'll go from there. So I'm not going to be upset about it as Anthony Florio is. So I'm just going to wait and see how it all plays out.
There better be a Vince Russo. There better be a Vince Russo swerve, bro, moment in a good way. Better be.
I'm going to say this. Just me thinking about it a little more, and just thinking about it in a hindsight. They could go two ways with this. Rock and Roman night 1. Then Rock could say, you know what? You deserve the moment. Go after Roman, finish your story night 2. You could do that.
I wouldn't mind that.
Or do a true triple threat. All this is probably going to have to get involved. Saying, no. The Royal Rumble winner deserves the opportunity. You say that you called your shot. You should fight for the title. Because you know all this is going to do everything in his power to screw over Adam Pearce, say, F you Raw, I'm getting this main event for WrestleMania. So, because that's the grand scheme of things. Because remember, the Royal Rumble winner gets a main event spot at WrestleMania.
Exactly right.
Do you think right now, and here's the thing, Rock and Roman is not main event. If Cody says, I want you, Seth Rollins, by decree, by the letter of the law, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes becomes the main event of WrestleMania 40. By the letter of the law. By the letter of the law. That should be the closing match of WrestleMania.
But because it's Roman and Rock, you know they're going to put Roman and Rock over. Let's be realistic.
You would think, yes.
And Cody and Seth has already been done to death. It's been done 3 times. Cody won all 3 times. We don't need it a 4th time. And Rock and Roman, does it really need the title? Absolutely not. It doesn't.
That's what everybody's been saying too. So who knows? Like we said, we got 64 nights. The door is wide open. There are a lot of stuff going on. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Because, and the thing is that, is Seth really gonna be ready for WrestleMania? We're hinging on everything, hoping that Seth is gonna make it to Mania. Because if he's hurt and he can't go, Cody, you're stuck. Where do you go from there? Then then they will have no choice but to do a triple threat for the title. So we'll see. There's still another domino that has not dropped yet, and that's the health of Seth Rollins. If
True.
Seth can go, then you do it. If he's a no-go for WrestleMania, now you open the door for a possible triple threat on night 2, the main event for WrestleMania, Rock, Roman, Cody for the title. And obviously, at that point, you're opening the door for Cody to win the title and possibly beat Rock just to protect Roman. And then you go from there. So I don't know. We'll see.
Just like they had Bryan tap out Batista to protect Orton.
So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. And like I said, 64 nights away from WrestleMania. And right now,
this is true.
I'm with you guys. Like I said, Florio is absolutely right. He has every right to be mad.
Damn right.
I'm just holding out. I'm holding out that maybe there's something here. And I'm basically, because in the back of my mind, I know everybody started freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going to do 30. This is the setup for WrestleMania 30. I've seen this story before. I think I know how this went.
That's true.
I'm starting to believe this is going to end up being a WrestleMania 30. We're about to run this back 10 years.
And if this is the case, MF, if what you're saying comes to fruition, then everything I said on this show tonight, I will retract and take back.
Well, we'll see. What like I said, we'll wait and see how this plays out. But that's what I'm just holding out hope, like you guys are, that we'll see. All right, guys. So nothing more to say. Let's get into the overall review here. So Michael Bullock, I'll lead it with you. It's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go quickly on this one since we took up a lot of time talking about this. And I don't know about you, Fletch. I think we should go rapid fire when it comes to our Vengeance Day preview since we took up a lot of time talking about this. So
absolutely,
I'm gonna give this about maybe in excess of 7 to 7.5. I mean, I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna poo-poo all over the last part because everybody's probably like, why are you doing Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania? I mean, it's not a main event caliber match. But you know what? I'll actually bump it up a little bit. I'll give it 7.5 to 8. So that's all I'll say. It's yours, Fletch.
7.5 to 8. I actually go 8.5. I thought this was a fine show. Yes, I know the closing left a bitter taste in the mouth of a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go and I'm going to say it. This was an excellent SmackDown. We got a lot of build for WrestleMania, which is amazing. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really as inclined as the other people are. So, Anthony, it's yours.
I'm with MF on this one. It's an 8 to 8.5 out of 10 for me. I lost my train of thought for a minute here. All right. Now I know. Okay. This was the sort of Road to WrestleMania episode of SmackDown that fans love. It was noteworthy in that it featured the return of the Rock and the setup for what is almost certain to be a main event battle explanation. I will give it 8 to 8.5 out of 10. So there isn't anything else left for me to say here. Let's quickly get into Vengeance Day.
All right, and we started off with what I believe will be the first match. The men's... Oh, are you there? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I don't know what happened. All right, I don't know what happened there.
Can you hear
All right.
me?
Yeah, you're good. All right, so we start off with the first fight, what I believe will be the first match of the night, and it's going to be for the Dusty Classic final. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. I believe Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin is going to win the final. I don't know why. I just feel like right now, I think Trick and Carmelo, I think their heads are not in the same page. They're not in the same game. So I believe when it's all said and done, I believe that Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker is going to win the tournament. Anthony Fleo, it's all yours.
Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin have been an entertaining makeshift team after their tense rivalry in recent months. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams have too much dissension in their friendship to win at this point. So the winners of the 2024 Dusty Cup, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous and go with Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin as well. I mean, like you said, there's just so much dissension with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, so it wouldn't make sense for them to put it on them. So Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker win it, so let's move on.
All right, with that said, we do indeed move on to the next match of the evening, as it will be Oba Femi versus Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. Anthony, it's yours.
Oba Femi just won the title after cashing his NXT Breakout Tournament opportunity, and it would be counterproductive to give the title back to the individual he won the title from in the first place. This is just a rematch to solidify his reign. Winner and still NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oba Femi to retain the NXT North American title, so it's yours, Fletch.
Agreed. Oba Femi wins. Next up that we do had is the family to go up against OTM, 6-person tag team fight. Michael Bullock, is yours.
I'm going to go with Tony D'Angelo and Stacks to retain the title, so it's yours, Fletch.
Close fight. Yeah, I'll give it to the family. I'm not I think OTM is going to do fine. But I think this is just the start of the rivalry. I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination. Florio.
It's actually a 6-man tag. It's Tony D, Stacks, and Rizzo going up against OTM and Jada Parker. But regardless, I have the family winning this match because the family needs to maintain their momentum as NXT Tag Team Champions, especially with their next challengers coming up in the Dusty Cup. So, and they may lose their titles to Breaker and Corbin at Stand and Deliver or whenever. I don't know. But I got the family winning this match. So let's move on to the next match.
All right. With that said, the next match is Joe Gacy going up against Dijak. No disqualifications. This is tough to call, man. I mean, I don't know why, but after everything that happened, I think Joe Gacy's gonna win. I don't know why. I feel like Gacy's gonna win this. So give me Joe Gacy. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I think Gacy wins too because of the fact that, Dijak pretty much stood tall. He knocked him into a dumpster on NXT Tuesday night. So I think that they could be setting it up for Gacy to win. So I want to take a chance and go with Gacy as well. But if Dijak were to win, I wouldn't be surprised. So not much more to say. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Gacy to win this one as well. So let's move on.
All right. Leads us to the NXT Women's title fight. Laura Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. And Anthony Florio, you lead off.
I'm calling for a new champion here. Roxanne Perez will defeat Lyra Valkyria to win the NXT Women's Championship because Cora Jade was the original plan to dethrone Lyra, but Roxanne will have to be the plan B here. At first, Blair Davenport seemed like an appropriate candidate to become the next NXT Women's Champion, even during Becky Lynch's transitional title reign. However, Cora Jade threw that theory out the door with her epic return at NXT Deadline, basically taking the spotlight away from Davenport and making it clear that she is coming after Valkyria for that title. Now that Cora is injured, Roxanne can redeem her first title reign. And I'm also going to go on the record in saying that Tatum Paxley is going to play a role in this match. And now that I've had more time to think about this, I'm going to retract what I said on Tuesday night, and I believe Roxanne Perez is going to turn heel, and Roxanne Perez is going to steal the NXT Women's Championship from Lyra Valkyria. But I wouldn't be surprised if my original thought comes to mind. So, but I'm going with Roxanne Perez, the winner and new, or should I say, once again, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez turning heel with a little help from Tatum Paxley. So, Michael Bullock, what says you?
Man, I mean, this is tough for me. I mean, I know it's easy for you, but this is tough. I mean, but you know what? After hearing everything you said, I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez to become the women's NXT Women's Champion because remember, she never really lost the title. She had to be stripped of it because of that the whole injury angle. So I think this is the moment they got to give the title back to her. So I think this is the moment. So Roxanne wins. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I can see Roxanne winning the title, no doubt. Let's go right into the main event. Michael Bullock, obviously, Mr. NXT gets to lead it off, and it's gonna be Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams for the NXT title. It's yours.
Yeah, this is an easy one here. I'm gonna go with Ilya Dragunov to retain the title, and I'm gonna say it right now. I think this is where the dissension, I mean, where everything starts to fall into place. I think Carmelo Hayes is going to cost Trick Williams his opportunity to become the champion, and I think this is where they're going to set up the matchup at Stand and Deliver with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So winner and still the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov because of Carmelo Hayes. So it's yours, Fletch.
I agree. I think the Mad Dragon successfully defends the title because Carmelo Hayes gets jealous and blows it for Trick Williams. So you're absolutely right. I got nothing more to say. Anthony, you got the final say tonight.
Ilya Dragunov will defeat Trick Williams to retain the NXT Championship because Carmelo Hayes will betray his friend, costing him the biggest match of his career, whilst Ilya Dragunov continues his feud with Ridge Holland on the road to Stand and Deliver. Like Blair Davenport, Trick Williams earned this world title shot by becoming the Iron Survivor at NXT Deadline. It seems that the crowd is hot on him becoming champion, especially after his failed 2-day reign with the North American Championship. However, he has a bigger storyline with Carmelo Hayes that will play a major factor in this title match. Winner and still NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov. Take us home, MF.
All right, and we're done. So, all right. Sunday night, around 10 o'clock, we'll recap NXT Vengeance Day, and then we do it all over again. So, thank you, Anthony Floyd. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you guys for staying up so late here tonight. Tell a friend, be a friend, say something nice. You actually could change their life. Until then, we'll see you all on Sunday. Goodbye.